Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Junaid Saleem to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Junaid Saleem's words. Today, we will discuss the ongoing political chaos in the country. After the division of the reserved seats, the next move appears to be silently underway. Why has Maulana Fazlur Rahman adopted such a harsh tone? What does he want? What is the purpose behind Chaudhry Nisar Ali Khan's return to the PMLN? If he returns, who will be happy about it and who will be worried? What is the Pakistan People's Party, or PPP, planning to do? What is the government doing with the people? Is the government orchestrating a topi drama? These points will also be discussed, but first, we'll talk about the political turmoil in the country after the reserved seats were taken from Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or PTI. It seems that preparations for the future have already started. The first target of this decision is reportedly the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government. Fawad Chaudhry has said that if Ali Amin Khan saves his government, it will be a miracle, so Ali Amin Khan should resign on his own. PTI may appoint a new chief minister in consultation with Maulana Fazlur Rahman. This will obviously be a test for PTI. On one hand, PTI has to organize a movement for the release of its leader, and on the other hand, it has to save its government in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. In my opinion, the establishment will go to any extent to end the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government. Ali Amin Khan's real test has begun. On the other hand, the news is that the PPP is officially joining the federal government. I have been mentioning this for a long time, but it was not being acted upon. On two occasions, agreements were almost finalized, but on both occasions, the decisions were postponed at the last moment. Now it is said that in July, the PPP will be given a fair share in the federal cabinet. Once the PPP joins the government, President Asif Ali Zardari will be requested to resign from the presidency due to his poor health, as the program to give the presidency to a powerful individual via the 27th Amendment is almost finalized. Sources say that if the PPP refuses to join the government, then the plan is to disqualify many PTI members in the May 9th cases, and these reserved seats will then be handed over to the PMLN to finish their dependence on the PPP. In this scenario, the PPP will go into opposition and Bilawal Bhutto will be made the opposition leader. In this way, both the government and the opposition will be in the establishment's pocket. It is also decided that some positions within PMLN will be restored to their original status. So Shahbaz Sharif's meeting with Chaudhry Nisar is part of this process. After Ashura, Chaudhry Nisar will meet Shahbaz Sharif again, and during this time his return to PMLN will be facilitated. When Chaudhry Nisar left PMLN, he said he would never accept the leadership of the younger generation. Is he now ready to work under Mariam's leadership? The likelihood of this is low. Sources say that Shahbaz Sharif has a personal friendship with Chaudhry Nisar, and therefore the Prime Minister wants Chaudhry Nisar to return to PMLN. This way, dealing with Mariam's group will become easier for him. Chaudhry Nisar hasn't spoken to Khawaja Asif or Ahsan Iqbal for years. Shahbaz Sharif also wants to keep Khawaja Asif and others in check through Chaudhry Nisar, as they now have their eyes on the Prime Minister's chair. The real question is whether Chaudhry Nisar can bring PMLN out of the people's disdain. Can he create a new narrative for PMLN? The answer is clear: no. Chaudhry Nisar is not a popular politician. He may get a good position within this hybrid regime as he has good relations with the establishment. He might also help guide his son, Taimur Ali Khan, in his political career. But beyond that, there is little he can offer. And let me tell you that this meeting between Shahbaz Sharif and Nisar was done without informing Nawaz Sharif and Mariam Nawaz, and both father and daughter are upset, even a bit annoyed by it. Some say that Nisar may not even be given a chance to return to PMLN because Shahbaz Sharif's intentions are clear. This will face strong resistance from the father-daughter duo. Now, the first result of the reserved seats case has emerged. After PTI members were declared independent, Chaudhry Usman Ali, who had won from Sahiwal with PTI's votes, has joined PMLN. This is the same Usman Ali who had sworn on the Holy Quran never to leave Imran Khan's side. There were no ifs or buts in his statement. He had openly declared his loyalty, but now he has joined PMLN. This is the same Usman Ali who previously defied his party line in the National Assembly. Now, Chaudhry Usman Ali has officially joined PMLN, along with others who have ruined their political careers and the future of their upcoming generations. This move, where any MLA joins PMLN after leaving PTI, is not of much significance. What is happening is an attempt to break the hopes of PTI workers. After imprisonments, family losses and businesses being ruined, those PTI workers whose hope didn't break are now being hit in a new way. Even if some more turncoats join PMLN, it won't matter because PTI's workers are no longer easily upset by such moves. The question now is whether Imran Khan's support base will weaken. The answer is clear. It won't weaken, it will grow stronger. Each time someone announces leaving PTI, you will see that PTI's popularity will increase by 2%. The most important question is whether Imran Khan's vote bank remains intact. The answer is a resounding yes. It's not only intact, but it is also growing stronger day by day. No matter how many people leave PTI, the party will only become more powerful. Now let's talk about the recent developments in politics. Maulana Fazlur Rahman has broken his silence and become revolutionary overnight. During a speech at a rally, he made very harsh statements. He said, "The constitution of the country is being derailed. The country cannot run with fake assemblies and fake governments. We allowed the previous government to function, but this one will not be allowed to continue." He further added that those in power should not rely on their strength too much, as they will be challenged. Maulana Fazlur Rahman emphasized that those without political wisdom and intellectual capacity should not decide the future of this country. This hard stance of Maulana Fazlur Rahman has created ripples in various circles. However, there are also many people who understand why Maulana has taken such a tone and the channel from which he is speaking. In the past, Maulana has never been a principled politician. He is a pragmatic politician. He admits that his politics is not driven by emotions, but when he needs to get his share, he adopts such aggressive rhetoric as he did during the public gathering yesterday. Maulana knows his strength. He can gather hundreds of thousands of people at any time, and that is his real power. This is something that the establishment fears. If Maulana is truly concerned about the constitution, why doesn't he announce that he will not accept these reserved seats as they are unconstitutional? Why doesn't he say that he doesn't want to participate in the power-sharing arrangements as they are illegal? If Maulana did so, it could boost his popularity and potentially benefit him in future elections. However, my guess is that he won't take this step, as the real target now is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and work has already begun behind the scenes for this. The PTI, or Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, has the support of 93 members, which forms nearly two-thirds of the majority. However, after the decision of the Supreme Court, 35 members of PTI have become independent. It is now on the basis of these independent members that the game will be played, and it will be played shamelessly and openly, just as it has been played in the past. There's no doubt about it. No constitution, laws, ethics, or any such principles will be considered. But Maulana, a political leader, has entered the field as a cunning and skilled politician, and with his worldly conversations has sent a message to influential circles that in case of any change in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the first right is his. Now, most people are viewing Maulana's statements in this context. Ladies and gentlemen, just think for a moment. By trying to end PTI, justice itself has been ended in the country. Unfortunately, the judiciary has played a part in this. Justice has become so helpless that even the judges of the higher courts are now seen asking for justice themselves. In fact, begging for justice. The judges, after the seniority case decision, despite being on leave, hastily decided the seniority of the Islamabad High Court judges after the Supreme Court's verdict. How quickly they did this on a holiday. I am surprised that such a decision was made on a Sunday, and for what case? No one had been granted bail, and no other urgent matter was there. But still, Justice Sarfraz Dogar, the most senior judge of the Islamabad High Court, was appointed, and his transfer was also made permanent. Sources claim that 5 judges of the High Court had filed a review petition against the Supreme Court's decision. If this petition had been heard, it might have delayed Justice Dogar's appointment as the permanent Chief Justice. To avoid that, all actions were taken hastily during the holiday. Tomorrow, in the Judicial Commission's meeting, Justice Dogar will be formally appointed as the permanent Chief Justice of the Islamabad High Court. After this, the Islamabad High Court will be fully controlled and the victory flag will be planted. Then, the review decisions will also keep coming. Justice Dogar, for the last 6 to 7 months, has kept Imran Khan away from justice, not allowing any of his cases to progress. So, for his outstanding performance, the recognition he deserves should be granted to him. Ladies and gentlemen, after the Auditor General's report revealing corruption and fraud of 10 trillion rupees, the Punjab government under Maryam Nawaz announced major steps. It was expected that a more cautious approach would be adopted, but what actually happened was that the announced 40 billion rupees for Punjab's government schools were exempted from financial scrutiny and auditing. Now, no one will know how these 40 billion rupees were spent or if they were used properly. There will be no audits and there will be no checks on these funds. This decision will only open new doors for corruption in the education sector, schools and other related departments. The Auditor General should be thankful that no attack has been made on him yet because he is a government officer. Moreover, the electoral fraud, especially Nawaz Sharif's rigging in Lahore, was exposed by non-governmental organisations and their leaders. Yet some of them had to flee the country to save their lives. The Auditor General's annual report revealed the exploitation behind many projects in Punjab. The details of these projects were deliberately kept out of the Auditor General's reach. Now, coming to the Prime Minister's recent announcement, you must have heard by now that the fixed charges for electricity bills and the TV fee, which was previously 35 rupees, have been eliminated. But simultaneously, the fixed charges for gas bills have been increased by 50%. This is what I call a fine act of deception. The new fixed charges for protected customers have been raised from 400 to 800 rupees, and for non-protected customers, the fixed charges have been raised from 1,000 to 1,500 rupees. The government has taken 3,500 rupees from the common man's pocket and put it in another pocket. Meanwhile, petrol prices have likely increased by around 15 rupees. While people cry over the taxes imposed in the annual budget, they forget that the real issue is the monthly taxes that are being collected. On the other hand, sugar prices have skyrocketed from 100 rupees per kilo to 200 rupees, and the government has decided to import sugar. If the 55% import duty and other taxes are included, the imported sugar will cost 245 rupees per kilo. The government is now forced to subsidise sugar at the rate of 85 rupees per kilo to sell it at an affordable price. But this subsidy will not come out of anyone's pocket. It will come from the National Treasury, and of course the money will end up in the pockets of the rich. Remember, when the decision to allow sugar imports was made, the price per kilo was 140 rupees. And now the sugar mafia is ruling the country. Now the federal government is squeezing the common man while protecting the privileged classes as if they are newborn babies. Although these individuals have been clinging to power for the past 70 years, Najam Sethi, a known supporter of the government, also voiced his criticism, claiming that the treatment of property taxes in the budget is absurd. Ordinary citizens will be charged high property taxes when buying or selling plots or homes, but bureaucrats and retired or serving military officers will be exempt from these taxes. He called this decision unfair and somewhat illegal. Additionally, in the budget, 6,000 billion rupees were given as tax exemptions to a special elite class. Najam Sethi suggested that if one closely examines the budget, they will see many more injustices. Ladies and gentlemen, in the recent tragic incident in Dera Ghazi Khan, 18 lives were lost due to the flooding of the river. No doubt the KP government must face strict accountability for this criminal negligence. The entire nation mourned this loss, and the KP government should be ashamed. But there was no demand for the resignation of the Punjab Chief Minister after 20 children died in Pakistan due to a lack of oxygen cylinders, doctors and medical staff. Why no accountability? Why was there no demand for the resignation of Maryam Nawaz in this regard? Why is no one speaking out? The rulers are avoiding the truth and showing no responsibility. Similarly, in another distressing case, a PTI worker named Iftikhar, who was imprisoned in the May 9th cases, died of hepatitis after being released from jail. This is a loss that could have been avoided had there been better conditions in the prisons. He was a young man who bravely endured his prison sentence, but he died after suffering from hepatitis due to the poor food and unhygienic conditions in the jail. This young life was taken away because of the government's negligence. Ladies and gentlemen, the state is destroying its own youth. These cruel killings are counterproductive. Who will explain to the rulers? When the seeds of hatred are sown, it will not be long before this hatred grows and harms the rulers and the state itself. Finally, I will end with some verses by Akhtar Usman. When the soul says, Labik Hussein, why does the heart still fear Yazid? When you say, I stand by Shabir, why do you still bow your head in the court of Yazid? That wraps up our translation of Junaid Saleem's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share, and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.